Hello, it's me, and I'm going to do a puzzle question. This is on the Scooby Copter Plus, a parody issue. Cam P wrote in and gave me some pictures, thank you very much for that, regarding this configuration. It said, hello, okay, so here is the dilemma I mentioned. As you can see from the photo, only two corners are swapped. So you can see the two corners. If this were not a parity situation, this is what you'd have. So if you have two corners that are out and this is also flipped, that's perfectly fine. So this is not exactly the same situation. If you see this, that would mean flipping these back and this will flip at the same time. But because his particular configuration does not have this flipped, that makes that a parity. So this is what it would look like if it was flipped. So let's get into the configuration that he has so that we can go through exactly what had happened. But as you can see, there's some rotation of these pieces and the edge did not rotate. Now this is very much like the end of, I believe it was part 2, where I showed the parity. It's a similar kind of corner rotational parity, but let's get into the configuration and see what might have happened. Okay, so here we have it in the configuration that he's got it. Note that these are in the wrong place. They need to be swapped, but this isn't swapped. The only way to do that is to move it here, swap them out. It can work, but then this is going to be rotated upside down. So the question is, how did this happen? And I'm actually glad that he brought this up, because this was a situation that is very possible that I did not go over. It's a different kind of a parody. And I think the main reason I didn't go over it is because this is something that you're also going to get with the Curvy Copter Plus. I can't just do an odd number of exchanges. I can't just do one exchange. By exchanging this, I'll either turn this upside down or I'll exchange something else. So I have to find a way of exchanging these while doing another exchange that you wouldn't know. Well, it can't be any of these because there's no rotational symmetry. So if I try to put this in and solve it, I'll end up with one that's upside down. So what can I exchange? Well, the answer is these guys. These guys do have symmetry. So when you get a situation like this, if these two are, these two need to be swapped without swapping one of these, first just swap one of these guys here. So like swap these two or these two or these two. So the way to get out of this particularly is put, if you've got two over here, put this color in front of you so that you've got one to the left and one behind on the right. I'm going to move this over to here, and I'm going to orchestrate a swap between this and this. Simple as that. So this is going to come down to here into jumble position. We're going to move this all the way around until it becomes a tail sticking out. This is going to exchange with this guy here. So basically, in all, what you're doing is you're going to be exchanging these two. So this will come over to here. This will come all the way to here. I got to take this, move it to here. So we're going to move this into this configuration and do 180 degrees like here, bang. Then what I'm going to do is use my very specific Curvy Copter Plus move to exchange these two. Orchestrate and exchange there, and bang. Now by exchanging these two, I've actually taken that parity out. So let's go ahead and put this back in. Move this back to here. Bring this up to here. Put this in its place. Move it down. And now what I'm going to do is move this 180 degrees. Then I'll bring this back to here so that I can line these two reds up. Bring this into here, move this across, and done. Now if you didn't pick up the exact motions that I did to bring it back, that's okay, as long as you knew to exchange these two. So once you have two that are out, but one that is not, if two are out, one of these edges also have to be rotated wrong. If you got two out but none are rotated wrong, go ahead and orchestrate an exchange of those two, and that'll take out the single edge parity rotational problem. Anyway, good question. Thanks, and keep them coming. Hello, it's me, and just to show once again that only the best comes from Texas, we have another unboxing by TwistyTex. So you know when we get something like this, it's quality. So there's always a special order of opening these boxes. He has become the master of the mod, especially the ultimate shape-shifting mod, so we know it's going to be something like that. So let's see what we've got here. Alright, so let's see what we've got. We can start off with a description. So let's see what we've got first, and then we can read the description. So, wow, okay, it's a nice, solid looking puzzle. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So what is this? Well, I see how many layers here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, we've got 3 layers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Aha! Now notice the fissured cuts here. And we've got 3 layers here, 7 layers here, and I got a sneaking suspicion we've got 5 layers here. So here we have a 3 by 5 by 7 fissure cuboid. 3 by 5 by 7 ultimate shapeshifter fissure cuboid created by bandaging a 7 by 7 and then gluing the 3D printed extensions. It's an extension only mod, and no faces were cut down. Added the pins to the middle layer center piece extensions to attempt to reinforce them, and the middle layer centers have been glued in place. Very long middle layer extensions are the most fragile part of the puzzle. I only put a little Traxxas 50K on the springs and left everything else dry to slow the movement down, which means not a lot of lubrication, but you can see just how deep and large these middle pieces are. So we're going to be handling this with care. We're going to be handling this with care so you can see just how deep this is, but its puzzles have always been very stable. Wow. Alright, so this is going to look really cool in a scrambled state, and it promises to be quite the perspective bender. So this is the fissured version of this guy over here. This is made by, this is not an extension only, so those that are extensions only tend to be larger puzzles, but this is Trey Poom's creation over here, which has really stood the test of time, so I'm very excited to see how I can use the strategies of the Ultimate Shapeshifters into a puzzle like this. So I'm going to just kind of challenge the movement just a little bit as we do some shape-shifting in our Ultimate Shapeshifter. Now, because this is the first I'm using this puzzle, I'm going to be very uber cautious with it. Okay, I have it here, and I don't want to break the puzzle in by literally breaking the puzzle. Alright, very nice, very nice. So this is like a checkerboard pattern here. Okay, very good. And across here, oh, very smooth. So, okay. That's how much I'm going to challenge it at the moment. But it has a very, very mass-produced type quality to it, as though this was made in a factory with the ultimate of stability for mass production. Anyway, so there it is. This is the Fisher 3x4x5 Ultimate Shapeshifter, and promises to be something of a perspective bending challenge, just because of the fissured state and wondering where the centers are, you know, the difference between the edges and the centers. So I very much look forward to showing the scramble and the solve of this puzzle. Anyway, once again, Casey, thanks for the opportunity to use this puzzle and to give it a scramble and a solve, and thanks for watching.